Hello, Simmers. We're back to some more Cocytus River Rats Drafted Glory franchise mode in FHM 11. And in the last one, we went through the Year 11 simulation in which we had a very good season. We finished 47, 29, and 6, good enough for 9th in the league. So, of course, we are in the playoffs. Unfortunately, we are starting out these playoffs a bit short-handed. We're going into these playoffs without Katachev or Baxter, 2 big losses, as Katachev is out for 2 to 3 weeks, and then Baxter for 1 to 2 months. So, at minimum, going without both of them for the entirety of the first round, and possibly into the second round as well. Obviously, Baxter being that 4-star ability defenseman, very key for us on offense on the back end. 37 points this past season in 59 games played. And then Katachev being that 4-star goaltender who's been so consistent for us throughout the entirety of the simulation, really, ever since he came into the league. He's never had anything less than a .911 save percentage throughout the entirety of his regular season career. He has been a bit shaky during the playoffs so far during his career, but, you know, that's still not ideal heading into this series against San Jose, who are 50, 26, and 6. So we're going to have to hope for the best from our goaltenders in Nyberg and Bystrom to get it done in Katachev's place while he recovers. But that's enough stalling. Let's get right into game number 1 against the San Jose Sharks. And that will be a 1-0 San Jose victory. Shots are 28-26 in favor of San Jose. 3 stars of the game are Saarinen, their goaltender, Hackinson, and Capco. First period, no scoring. Second period, no scoring. Third period, Brock Cripps with a lone goal of the game before the San Jose Sharks gives them the 1-0 lead. All right, here we go. Game number 2 will be a 2-0 Cocytus River Rats victory. So a couple of shutouts here to start out the series so far. Shots are 36-24, this time in favor of your Cocytus River Rats. 3 stars of the game are Orr, McCarney, and Vananen. First period, no scoring. Second period, no scoring once again. And then third period, you have Tyson Orr with the first goal of the game from Denoye and Vananen to make it 1-0. And then Apo Vananen on the power play from Bouchard and Orr to make it a 2-0 victory for Cocytus River Rats. And we're tied at 1 in the series. All right, game number 3. Let's see what it'll be this time. It'll be a 5-4 Cocytus victory. So the first high scoring game of the series. Shots are 44-41 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are Andreev, Nadeau, and Orr. First period, you have Berglund getting things started for San Jose to make it 1-0, but then it's Tyson Orr from Aiden Bouchard and Apo Vananen to make it 1-1, and then it's Nadeau for San Jose to make it 2-1, heading to the second period where it's Nadeau again to make it 3-1, and then Frederick Larson scores for us from Pellizzari and Andreev to make it 3-2, and then Nadeau with a hat trick for San Jose to make it 4-2. Heading into the third period where it's Spellquist twice, the first from Stenberg and Andreev, and the second on the power play from Pellizzari and Andreev to make it tied at 4, heading into overtime where Tyson Orr scores from Vananen to make it a 5-4 victory. So here we go into game number 4. We are currently up 2-1 in the series. Let's make it 3-1 right here. That will be a 3-0 San Jose victory. So far in this series, there have been a combined 3 shutouts in 4 games played. I mean, not what you'd like to see, at least in this case for us. Shots at 39-26 in favor of San Jose. 3 stars of the game are Saarinen, Savard, and Parot. First period, you have Will Sharp getting things started for San Jose to make it 1-0, and then William Savard makes it 2-0. No scoring in the second period. And third period, Ayrton Martino with the empty net goal to make it a 3-0 San Jose victory. So here we are heading into game 5, tied at 2 in the series. This is a big game for both teams. That will be a 6-2 San Jose victory. Shots are 38-25 in favor of Cocytus River Rats, so we outshot, but they outscored. 3 stars of the game are Berglund, Bednarik, and Saarinen. First period, Will Sharp gets them started with the 1-0 lead, heading to the second period where it's Jack Berglund to make it 2-0, heading to the third period where the majority of the scoring happened. Zalidis scores from Bouchard and Andreev to get things started in the third period to make it 2-1, but then it's 4 consecutive San Jose goals from Berglund, Garris, Berglund again, and then McCarney to make it 6-1 before we get our next goal and the last goal of the game from Neuenschwander from Carlson and Wotherspoon to make it a 6-2 San Jose victory, and we're down 3-2 in the series. Come on, guys. Here we go. Elimination game number 6. We gotta win this one. And there's our first goal of the game. Wotherspoon with the goal from Andreev and Stenberg to make it 1-0. And there's San Jose's first from Sharp to make it 1-1. Come on, guys. All right, that's first period in the books. We're tied at 1, heading to the second period, and there's a goal for San Jose. Capco makes it 2-1. Come on, Cocytus. Come on, River Rats. Get me one before the end of the second. Not happening. Heading into the third period, down by one. Come on, guys. 3-1. Perot with the goal. Not looking good. Come on, guys. Come on. All right, there's one Tyson Orr from Denoye and Barton. And 3-3, Frederick Larson from Zalitis and Pellizzari. We are tied with 2:57 remaining in the third, and we are headed to overtime. All right, here we go. Come on. Game 7 on the line, and it looks like we need another overtime period. Here we go. Overtime number 2, and there it is. Zerker with the goal. Sends us to a game 7. Let's go. All right. So we're still in these playoffs. Shots at 39-34 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are Barton, McCarney, and Cuddy-Yarby. Oh, it's McCamey. I thought it was McCarney. Like, I remember seeing McCarney in a previous series. Eli McCarney. Ooh, setback for Baxter. He is going to take considerably longer than anticipated to recover from his injury. That is unfortunate. But regardless, here we go into game number 7. Come on, guys. Second round on the line. And there's our first goal of the game. Andreev from Denoye and Bouchard to put those up 1-0. There's 2-0. Aiden Bouchard, the captain from Pellizzari and Stenberg. And we're up by 2. And there's 3-0 with 2 seconds left in the first period from Neuenschwander. Gets the goal from Zerker and Hawkinson. And we're up by 3 in the second period. There's 4-0. Caleb Denoye with his first of the playoffs from Pellizzari and Barton. And there's 5-0 Zerker from Spelkvist and Cuddy-Yarby. And we are really taking control of this game as now it's 6-0 Frederick Larson from Bouchard and Ellefson. There you go. And there's 7-0 Louis Carlson with his first of the playoffs from Cuddy-Yarby and Orr. And we should have this all but wrapped up here. And there it is. We win 7-0 in game number 7. Convincing fashion to move on to the second round. Let's go. Shots on 36-23 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars again. Bouchard, Denoye, and Zerker. And we'll be facing the 52-28-2 Winnipeg Jets in the second round. So yet another team that finished ahead of us. But you know what? Despite the fact that Baxter did have a setback, I'm still feeling pretty confident in this team. Kadachev is day-to-day, so he should be back at some point during this series. But until then, we will ride what has worked for us so far in these playoffs. So here we go into game number 1 against the Winnipeg Jets. That will be a 5-1 Winnipeg victory. Shots are 37-31 in favor of Winnipeg. 3 stars of the game are Burke, Ishkov, and Francisco. First period, you have Trethway with the goal for Winnipeg to put them up 1-0, and then Marco Vuk to make it 2-0. Heading in the second period where it's Bella Booz to make it 3-0, and then Aiden Bouchard with our lone goal of the game from Ellefson and Andreev to make it 3-1, but then it's Maddox Burke to make it 4-1, and then in the third period you have Dmitry Ishkov to make it a 5-1 Winnipeg victory. All right, here we go. Game number 2 against Winnipeg will be a 3-0 Winnipeg victory. They're up 2-0 in the series. Shots are 41-34 in favor of Winnipeg. 3 stars of the game are Brennan, Trethway, and Burke. First period, no scoring. Second period, Trethway with 2 goals back-to-back to make it 2-0, heading into the third where it's Maddox Burke to make it a 3-0 Winnipeg victory. All right, here we go into game number 3. We need this win right here, and that is going to be a 5-1 Winnipeg victory. We're down 3-0 in the series. Shots at 36-33 in favor of Winnipeg. 3 stars of the game are Burke, Brennan, and Ferguson. First period, no scoring. Second period, Burke with the goal to make it 1-0. Third period, you have Roman Andreev with our lone goal of the game from Stenberg and Barton to make it 1-1. But then it's Ferguson, Ishkov, and Skorepa twice on the power play to make it a 5-1 Winnipeg victory. But the good news, Denis Kadachev is back from his injuries. So we'll see what that does for this series. I mean, obviously we have quite a big hole to climb out of, but we are getting our star goaltender back. So we'll see how that affects things as we head into game number 4. Elimination game number 4. We're going to go right into it. Here we go. Come on, Cocytus. Get off to a good start here. That's not getting off to a good start as the shot deficit was not looking great until late in the period there. They were out shooting us. What was that? I think that was 6-1 to start things out. The first half of the game, or the first half of the period rather. So here we go into the second period. Come on, there it is. There's their first goal of the game. Caden Stroder makes it 1-0 Winnipeg, and there's 2-0. Kellen Paish. Come on, guys. 3-0. Jamie Ferguson. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good. They've been dominating this entire series so far. And in the third period, down by 3. Not looking good. And that will be a 3-0 Winnipeg victory. We are swept out of the second round. That is very unfortunate. Shots at 36-23 in favor of Winnipeg. 3 stars of the game are Stroder, Sulemans, and Ferguson. We didn't get a single goal in that game. They hate to see it. They really did dominate that series. We lost game number 1, 5-1. We lost game number 2, 3-0. We lost game number 3, 5-1. And we lost game number 4, 3-0. We only scored 2 goals the entire series. And we just didn't have an answer for them. It's as simple as they were the better team. It's as simple as that. They had us beat. We could not figure out a way past the Winnipeg Jets. So I suppose with that being done, let's take a look at the playoff stats and see who did what. So in 10 games played, Nyberg had a .907 save percentage. So I guess Kadachev didn't get in for that game, as I guess coach wanted to ride the hot hand there with Nyberg. Then skater-wise, we have Andreev and Bouchard leading the way with 8 points each. Then you have Orr with 6, Pellizzari with 5, Denoye, Vananen, and Stenberg with 4, Larson, Spelkvist, Zerker, Barton, and Cuddy Arvey all with 3. Neuenschwander, Zalidis, Carlson, Wotherspoon, and Elifson all with 2. And then Hackinson with 1. Baxter, of course, didn't play. Kapustin, Krivenek, and Russo all with nothing in 1 game played. So with that, I suppose there's nothing else left to do except simulate ahead and see wins the Stanley Cup. And your 2034-35 Stanley Cup champions are the Philadelphia Flyers. This is their first Stanley Cup since 1975. My goodness. That is, it's quite a long time, but the drought is over for Philly. They go through Montreal, Minnesota, the Islanders, and Calgary in the finals. All right, now let's get some re-signings done. There's not much that we need to do here. It's just Barton, Pasenka, Takmakov, and Petrov. So I think I'll just auto-qualify Petrov, Takmakov, and Pasenka. And as for Barton, he wants 1.5 for 2 years. I mean, he's our 8th defenseman, so as long as we're not up against the salary cap, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't sign him to that. That's a relatively cheap deal. We're currently at 79.7, but that's without considering extensions, right? Because you have Pellizzari who's on an extension, you have Vananen who has an extension. So the cap obligations chart says we're going from 17 million to 8.3. We might be very close, honestly. We might be very close to the cap ceiling by the time it rolls over to July 1st. Because I'm pretty sure that as of right now, the game is considering 96.8 to be the salary cap, right? But that's because it's the offseason. During the regular season, it's only 88 million. So I'll sign Pasenka here. He wants less than $1 million. But I don't know if we're going to have all that much left over, even for someone like Barton. You know, I think we'll release Barton. This should be a good opportunity to get a younger defenseman in there anyway. It's not like his simulation was too good anyway. Only had a 57 grade, 59 offensive, 55 defensive, 5 points in 16 games played. Nothing too special. So I think we can release him. So I suppose with that, we'll get to the NHL awards. So now let's go through the awards. For the Tedlands, you have Silas Gabriel of Boston, who had 42 goals, 53 assists for 95 points on the season. Then you have Joel Tallis of Vegas winning the Art Ross. He had 59 goals and 44 assists for 103 points. Then he also wins the Maurice Richard. And for the Lady Byng, you have Damian Podgorenko of Ottawa. He's 21 years of age, 16 goals, 40 points on the season. And for the Bill Masterton, you have Austin Matthews of Toronto, still on Toronto at 37 years of age, 22 goals, 31 assists for 53 points on the season. For the Mark Messier Leadership Award, it is Alexei Joseph of the Rangers. And he is, of course, not their captain. 18 goals, 14 assists for 32 points on the season. And then the Jennings Trophy goes to Semyon Frolov of Pittsburgh, of course, our former goaltender, who has a .914 save percentage in 55 games played for Pittsburgh. And now for the Hart, between Hampus Bauer, Joel Tallis, and Silas Gabriel, it is Silas Gabriel of Boston. For the Conn Smythe, it is Kari Polka of Philly, with 19 points in 25 games played as a defenseman. For the Calder, between Laurie Nordstrom, Lucas Berg, and R.T. Godfrey, it is R.T. Godfrey of Colorado with 41 points in 82 games played. For the Norris, between Andre Wero, Harry Mattern, and Fleming Lindencrone, it is Andre Wero of Pittsburgh with 50 points, Then for the Selke, between Milan Sundstrom, Elias Taipal, and Felix Lind, we're really starting to get to the point now where I'm not recognizing too many names here. You have Milan Sundstrom of Columbus with 42 points on the season. For the Vezina, between Kadachev, Troy Falbo, and Kim Saarinen, it is Troy Falbo of the Islanders with a .926 save percentage and 6 shutouts in 66 games played. GM of the Year, between Trevor Timmons, John Chaika, and Daniel Briere, it is John Chaika of Philly with 54 wins. And for the Jack Adams, between Spencer Carberry, Mark Stewart, and Ryan Warsofsky, it is Ryan Warsofsky of Philly All right, now let's go through the unsigned list and see who has a deadline coming up here. It looks like it's quite a few players there. You have Zivliuk, 23, don't think I'll sign him. Woits, don't think I'll sign him. Unsworth, no. Tuomainen, no. Staritsky, no. Reber, no. Reagan, no. Novinec, probably not. He's 22, 1-star ability. Lucas, no. Leatherwood, he's 19, so I guess I'll sign Leatherwood. Lottie, no. Kumar, he's 20. I'll probably sign him as well. Koronak, no. And Card, no. So Leatherwood and Kumar. Everybody else there is 21, 22. Not really interested in signing them at this point, especially since most of them are still, half-star or 1-star abilities at most and don't really have a high ceiling either. So I think we'll skip on most of those guys. And here's our 2034-35 season summary. We reached the playoffs at a winning season, a winning percentage of 600 or better, met our objective, no negative categories, of course, longevity bonus of 10, total season score of 34, total career score so far of 209. 6 available points. I suppose I'll continue to work on the coaching ratings. I'll put, I guess, all 6 of them into tactics. And Pascal Vincent, of course, we only signed him to a 1-year deal after seeing the performance that we had 2 seasons ago. And does he deserve a renewal? I would say, I don't know how much of last season I can put on him, especially after seeing how much improvement we had after we traded Gavin McKenna. But at the same time, I would like to see a bit more out of this team during the playoffs. Obviously, we have not gotten past the second round up to this point. So he's proven himself to be a good coach for getting this team to the playoffs, but is he the coach to get us over the hump? I'm not sure. So I took a quick look at the coaching free agency. I did not see any coaches who I would really be comfortable replacing Vincent with. So I'll give him another season because I want to believe that he can get it done, because he's very good at getting us into the playoffs. We've made it past the first round before, right? We made it past the first round just this year, and has proven that his rosters can get it done in clutch situations, such as that game 7 in round number 1 this past season. So it's for those reasons that I'm going to give him an extension. I'll give him, I guess, another year. We'll see what he does. Well, it looks like we're going to need a new head coach regardless, because Pascal Vincent has retired from professional hockey. So we are going... Looks like we're going to have to find a new head coach here anyway. I'm thinking either Jared Bednar or DJ Smith, because they both have the offensive preference, and that's what Mr. Pascal Vincent had. Now, Vincent had a non-physical preference, so if we chose Smith, we're going from non-physical to physical, but then Bednar has balanced. He also, however, has the passive line matching tendency, aggressive goalie handling, prefers prospects, conservative innovation. I'm not sure if I like the conservative innovation, because that's his ability to get the team to adjust to new tactics quickly. And while we would still have an offensive system, we're going from non-physical to balanced line matching tendency to passive, balanced goalie handling to aggressive, right? So I'm not sure if that would be the move or not. Then you have Smith, who's offensive physical, 18 player management, 15 motivation, 16 discipline, 19 tactics, and 16 in-game tactics. And you compare that to Bednar, 18 player management, 17 motivation, 15 discipline, 17 tactics, and in-game tactics. So honestly, both are good options. Smith is 5 years younger. I think I'm probably going to go with Bednar just because of the balanced physical preference. I'm not sure if the physical preference is the way to go for this team, just given that a lot of our players, or at least a lot of our good players, are not very physical. You have Andreev only 11 hitting. You have Bouchard, who has 14 hitting. So Bouchard's not bad. Baxter, 14 hitting. Neuenschwander, 13. Stenberg, 12. Spelkvist, 13. Pellizzari, 12. Ellefson, 10. Vananen, 12. Zerker, 11. Orr, 13. Carlson, 10. Larson, 12. Yeah, we really don't have too many hitters on this team, do we? We have Kapustin, who's a 15, Denoy 14, Wotherspoon 12, Russo 13, Zalitas 15, Kutayarvi 13, Hackinson 16, that's the highest rating yet, Krivenek 12, and then back to Andreev. So yeah, we're really not much of a hitting team here. I mean, of course, hitting isn't the only part of physicality, right? But still, I think balance might be the way to go here. So I think I might go for Bednar, despite the fact that he's got that conservative innovation. It's not like his tactics are too different from Pascal Vincent's, right? So yeah, I think we'll hire on Jared Bednar as our new head coach for the next 2 seasons. There it is. And you know what? This has been a pretty eventful episode already, so I think we'll end things off here, but not before, of course, I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we go through the year 11 offseason and head into year number 12.